I got my first collard green harvest of the season. Check it out. I've already done these 4. The bugs started getting them, so I'm just gonna get everything off the plants, and I'm gonna cook them up inside. I like to cook my collards in a big pot. They wilt and get a lot smaller, but I just kind of cut them up a little bit so I don't have huge leaves. I want these to cook down, and then I'm gonna start adding the flavorings in a little bit, including a cover. Always speeds the process up. You want that steam to kind of recirculate in there. Chicken broth from my Better Than Bouillon. I don't know, I just kind of guess. It's probably plenty. There you go. I'm just gonna pour my chicken broth right in there and let that flavor steam in. That is starting to cook down a little bit. Stir it up. Hands are so much better than utensils. As long as it's not too hot, why not just use your fingers? Yes, I washed my hands. Get going on some garlic. 4 pieces sounds about enough. Smoosh them. Throw off the paper. That way the paper just peels off super easy. 1, 2, 3, breathe! And no, I'm not going to use my knife. A garlic press is so much easier. You just put it in there. Boom, boom. Close it up. If you use garlic, we probably won't be friends. Well, we would be, but I would judge you. Yeah. Cut the rest of that off so we don't waste it. Only stuff left is the skins. Okay, so we're trying to think about how to flavor our collard greens, and first thing I want to do is wilt it. I'm gonna need some type of fat. I think I might use butter this time. I like butter and chicken broth. I think towards the end I'm gonna use some of this umami black garlic sauce instead of soy sauce. And we also need a little bit of acid. I know you normally wouldn't think like butter and then umami and like throwing in vinegar is the first choice, but I'm gonna go with something fairly light, like a rice vinegar, and hit more of those taste buds. I don't believe in measuring things. You just kind of, sure. That's about right. We will be doing some pepper, but pepper I almost always do at the end. Sometimes I cook with it, but for the most part, it's usually a topping. And you don't want to cook the rice vinegar off, so I'm going to put that in towards the end also. Yum, 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 yum. Now, if you notice, see how they're starting to get a little bit darker? I don't want to cook collards too much. They are one of the leafy greens that you cook more. You would cook them more than kale, more than spinach for sure. Spinach is usually fairly fast. Collard greens take a little while, so you actually have to like let them simmer for, I don't know, a while, 10 minutes. It's getting there. I want some of that green to go away. Normally I like to preserve the green a lot, but collards, you kind of cook some of that out. Otherwise it's just too tough. I guess now we should probably do a taste test. Needs more salt. I was thinking that the bouillon would salt it enough, but I don't think it did. A little bit of rice vinegar. Do some black pepper. And some of this umami black garlic sauce. Lunch is served. I actually might add a little bit more vinegar. And a pinch more salt. And maybe a bit more pepper. I think the garlic and the umami is pretty good. The flavor balance was a little off, so why not get that corrected? That is good. It still has like a little bit of crunch, which I like. the juice kind of like explodes. It's almost like a soup to some degree. It's like a nice chicken stock. And of course, I can't forget my protein. Got a little extra shell in that one for some additional calcium. Quick and nutritious lunch. So you may be wondering why collard greens. A bunch of reasons. First of all, I like the flavor and they have a good texture to them. Seems like a multivitamin in a leaf. A, C, K, folate, manganese, which is relatively rare. Vitamin K is one of the harder vitamins to get, especially in combination with calcium. Both are in collards, so it's really good for bone health. The amount of fiber in these is great for your digestion. We all hear about prebiotics and all of that, and fiber just helping with motility and movement throughout the gut. The prebiotics help to feed and fuel some of the probiotics. So there's, both types of fiber in here, soluble and insoluble. Really high in chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is especially important for women because it is nature's analog to blood cells, and women are obviously more prone to anemia. So really good if you're still having your period, eat some collards. Most people only think about iron for blood, but chlorophyll is really good for you too. You can cook collards wrong, for sure. I've seen people overcook them and they're just like a brown glob. Like you're cooking all the nutrition out of that. So I still wilt mine, but you can tell there's a lot of life. There's vitality left in this, right? Like this stem isn't completely collapsing. It falls over. I want that. It would be too difficult to digest otherwise. So you have to wilt them. But if you go overboard, it's too much and all the nutrition's gone. One of the other big benefits is this is really good for antioxidant protection, especially because it contains things like flavonoids and beta carotene. So let's kind of figure out what that means, because I think people say that and they have no clue what the hell antioxidant is and what a free radical is and what that does to your body. So let me kind of break it down to you real quick. Okay, you have a molecule in your body, and there's electrons that are within that molecule that are spinning really, really fast at the atomic level. And those electrons need to be paired with something. It needs to like have a molecule accept it and like, hey, you're my electron homie, I want you. You're not just out there kind of like going all over the place. What happens is these molecules with these free radicals go over to another molecule that is perfectly stable and normal. And they're like, yo, this guy needs to pair. He's all over the place. And then it'll try to steal electrons from the other molecule so it can be paired, or vice versa. Like there's an interaction there with that free radical electron spinning around and then basically damaging and destabilizing the regular molecule. So now both of them are destabilized. And then these two are like, I'm gonna go out and touch some other molecules. And then it sets off the chain reaction called oxidative stress. So oxidative stress is really bad for you, okay? Anywhere from causing diseases and cancer, just generally inflammation and pain within the body. You don't want a lot of these free radicals. They're naturally produced all the time just through normal metabolic processes. And we also produce things like, glutathione, SOD. There's a lot of powerful antioxidants in our body, but we need it from our diet as well. So when you eat something like a collard green, that has things like the flavonoids and the beta carotenes or whatever else it is in there that are already stable molecules. And it's almost like they're cool with giving some other electrons away. So this free radical comes up and it's all freaking crazy, right? And it's like, hey, I need an electron. And then this one's like, sweet, I got plenty. here's a few. And then this guy's like, sweet, oh, now I'm stable. Okay. And instead of this thing going to destroy that molecule, now they're both stable. And the oxidative stress process stops. So it prevents a lot of disease and discomfort within the body when you eat things like this. The reason why I say don't overcook this stuff, you can cook away the antioxidant protection from a food. So you want to cook this in particular to the right degree, but you don't want to overcook it for like 30 minutes because there's going to be none of that nutritional value left in it. All right, well, we went from garden to kitchen to a lecture on antioxidants and free radicals. Anyway, join me for lunch next time.